According to Jim Signorelli in his book Story Branding 2.0, Creating Standout Brands Through the Power of Story, he says that if you have a birth certificate, you are a brand. And just as a product is associated with brands and consumer popularity, a persona is a way to market yourself. This is especially true in the interview process. At my organization, we value personal branding and provide training and resources for creating what we call experience maps. Today, I would like to share my experience map with you to help you better understand my inner and outer layers that together build my story brand. So, what is a story? Kendall Haven's Story Proof, The Science Behind the Startling Power of Story definition is a narrative about a character dealing with an obstacle to achieve some important goal. The difference between a story and a good story is some personal relevance. Plots are the sequential events of a story that explain the what, and themes are the interpretations. And brands, like story themes, are better left to interpretation than to explanation, through implication as opposed to explication. And then the best stories reinforce beliefs that the audience already holds. Signorelli goes into detail and gives concrete evidence of the 6 C's. The first one is to collect the backstory. This is sometimes called a situational analysis. It is all relevant information to the individual brand or the person. The second is to characterize the brand, understanding the person's belief system and the evidence of what the person stands for. Three, you have to characterize the audience, functional and emotional needs, and how do these present opportunities to share our talents and skills. Four, connect the character. This is where we play matchmaker of the person and their audience. In an interview process, the interviewee and interviewer, ultimately sparkling a long term relationship. And five, confront the obstacle communication barriers by creating a comprehension, association, affinity, and awareness. Here we build relationship goals. And six, complete the brief story. Look for logical consistency and summarize into a story brief that outlines the entire brand through inner and outer layers. The story branding model consists of two character cells separated by an obstacle. Signorelli diagrams the cells as inner layers or values and beliefs that aren't readily discernible but explain the outer layer behavior that we can see. Welcome to my experience map. My brand statement goes like this: I am a passionate maximizer driven with integrity and a growth mindset for myself and my teams. I nurture my passion for developing others through servant leadership while intentionally networking and mentoring in my workplace and my community. I was born in 1976 in Richmond, Kentucky. This is always a great way to connect with bicentennial babies. Part of my backstory that built my inner layer is that I didn't grow up in a Christian home, but I had a grandmother who loved me and drove me to church. 4-H was instrumental beginning my fourth grade year. It's where I first learned to cook, and I developed my love for public speaking by competing in hands on demonstrations of mixing and baking banana bread at the state, county, state, and national levels. My first trip out of the state of Kentucky was earned through 4-H. Since then, I've traveled all over the world. I've always been a reader, and historical fiction gives me an escape from the modern world's trials. I graduated high school alongside my sweetheart of 32 years. I started college and loved every minute of higher learning until I had to relocate with my husband's job. I was then introduced to creative memory scrapbooking, and even today it provides a creative and therapeutic outlet for me. My oldest son earned his Eagle Scout and inspired my husband and I to co lead a venturing crew. I developed a love of hiking and have spent many days and nights with a pack strapped to my back with no modern conveniences. After 30 years, I finally finished that degree in communications and I use my skills every day. My current goals include completing my Toastmasters pathways and earning the Distinguished Toastmaster honor. In addition, I need to learn how to swim. I'm currently enrolled with Liberty University online school and I'm working towards my PhD so that someday I can teach at the collegiate level. My outer layer manifests in mentorships at work and at home. I am also still actively involved as a 4 H leader in my community, and I continue to spend time in the great outdoors with youth. If you would like to learn more about story branding and story labs, you can find Jim Signorelli on all